French President Emmanuel Macron has said he will confer with European allies on the idea of using the country's nuclear deterrent to protect the continent in the face of threats from Russia. Macron, in a televised address to the nation on Wednesday, described Russia as a threat to France and Europe. France is the only nuclear power in the European Union.
Notre dissuasion nucléaire nous protège. Elle est complète, souveraine, française de bout en bout. Elle a, depuis 1964, de manière explicite, toujours joué un rôle dans la préservation de la paix et de la sécurité en Europe. Mais répondant à l'appel historique du futur chancelier allemand, j'ai décidé d'ouvrir le débat stratégique sur la protection par notre dissuasion de nos alliés du continent européen. Quoi qu'il arrive, la décision a toujours été et restera entre les mains du président de la République.
Macron's speech comes as EU leaders prepare to address the issues during the special summit in Brussels on Thursday. Late on Wednesday, Macron welcomed Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban for a meeting.
Brussels is launching an action plan to help the European automotive sector. According to the European Commission, the industry is at a critical turning point. The Commission wants to ensure that the batteries used by car manufacturers are made in Europe. They will make available 1.8 billion euros to strengthen the supply chain of raw materials for batteries. This will be in addition to the 3 billion euros that Brussels has already announced will be invested in batteries.
Welcome to the press conference.
Europe needs its own supply. That means producing them ourselves. And alongside finance, we are considering European content requirements for batteries and components that are sold here. The Clean Industrial Deal, presented by the Commission last week, also announced a new critical raw materials centre. So from 2026, it will offer automotive players access to lower-cost materials.
The European Commission also aims to decarbonize the corporate car fleet, which accounts for 60% of new car registrations. They will present a legislative proposal this year. This is in addition to the plan announced on Monday by Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission's president, to give car makers 3 more years to adapt to the CO2 emission standards for new cars.
European Union countries agreed on Wednesday to bring into force the entry-exit system, the bloc's automated registry for short-stay travellers. Delayed for years over technical problems and lack of preparedness. Interior ministers reached an agreement in Brussels for a likely start of operations in autumn. The entry-exit system's main purpose is to modernise checks at the EU's external borders and replace the stamping of passports. It will apply to non-EU citizens who come to the bloc for visits, holidays or business trips. The collection and sharing of information in real time is meant to help authorities crack down on those who overstay their short-term visas and commit identity fraud. Cyprus and Ireland will not partake in the scheme.
International tourism is expected to surpass 2024 levels, which saw a full recovery from pre-pandemic levels. The travel sector is experiencing a rise in sustainable bookings amid pushbacks in over-tourism that is seeing several European countries such as Spain and Italy considering raising tourist taxes. But climate change is also having a major impact on travel, especially in the Arctic region. According to a study by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, 95% of tourists explore just 5% of global areas. Over-tourism is also a huge issue in tourist hotspots that puts strain on locals but also other tourists who don't enjoy sharing the space with crowds. Tens of thousands of tourism industry participants gather at the world's largest tourism trade fair, the ITB in Berlin. Many companies are experiencing a boom in nature-related activities which could be beneficial if travellers look more locally. But can tourism really be sustainable? Liv Stroud, reporting in Berlin for Euronews.
These women are getting together every weekend in an art space for the project She's Alive. But it is not their love to art which unites them, it is their loss. All of them lost their loved men in Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
В цьому колі вони можуть почуватися абсолютно вільно, вони можуть спілкуватись між собою, сміятись, святкувати дні народження. І кожна з них розуміє той біль, який всередині є, і який не завжди залишиться. Коли дівчата втрачають свого чоловіка, свого коханого, вони разом з ним втрачають весь світ. Абсолютно. І абсолютно повністю відчувають порожнечу, яку немає чим заповнити.
Svetlana lost her husband in early days of the invasion and stayed under Russian occupation for months with two small children.
Там нема людяності. Там все, що є, там це жорстокість. Слава Богу, дітей не чіпали. І вони кожен день це наголошували. Скажи спасибо, що ми не трогаємо зараз твоїх дітей. На той час доньки було 3 рочки, сину було 9 років. І вони дозволяли увезти дітей, коли були побиття, обшуки. І син все чув, але вони нічого не бачили. Ні, перемир'я за будь-яку ціну неможливо, бо ціна вже виставлена. Ціна – це життя наших чоловіків, життя наших синів. Це не буде ніколи пробачення. Я завжди кажу, не ми прийшли до них, вони прийшли до нас додому і почали вбивати нас в себе вдома.
Vita Kharchuk is drawing her son, the defender of Mariupol, and she says all that's left is his dreams.
Була наречена, була мрія мати 3 діток. А на жаль, все це лишилося тільки в мріях. Так батько мене став. Я їх так і бачу на цій картині. 3 молодих, гарних хлопців, сповнених жаги до життя, любові до своєї батьківщини, любові до своїх рідних, сповнені мрій.
These women have paid the highest price, and their loss cannot be forgotten now for a ceasefire at any price, they say.
Pope Francis was resting on Thursday after a peaceful night during his 3rd week of hospital treatment for double pneumonia, the Vatican said. The Pope has been sleeping with a non-invasive mechanical mask to guarantee that his lungs expand properly overnight and help his recovery. The 88-year-old Pope, who has chronic lung disease and had part of one lung removed as a young man, has been stable for 2 days after suffering 2 respiratory crises on Monday. Doctors underlined that their prognosis remains guarded due to the complexity of his condition.
Authorities in Greece say safety continues to remain a priority as schools and businesses reopen across the country's Aegean islands. The reopening comes after weeks-long earthquake swarm, the vast majority of them with small magnitudes near the country's volcanic island of Santorini, caused panic. According to Greece's Ministry of Tourism, with the situation gradually declining, residents and visitors who fled when the seismic activity began are now returning ahead of this year's tourist season. Greek tourism minister told Euronews that Santorini will welcome visitors again this year, taking some specific safety-related measures. The island is one of Greece's most popular tourist destinations.
From the very first minute, we said that the foremost priority is the safety of both residents and visitors. So we are opening up Santorini, and of course we are looking forward to a season which will operate as normal as possible, of course taking all precautionary measures, because as I said before, safety matters to us more than anything else. Greece has dealt with crises in the past, so we are used to dealing with extraordinary situations. But what is most important is that we want to make sure that our residents and our visitors in Santorini will feel safe and that they will enjoy their time on the island.
The minister said the outlook for this year's tourism market remained optimistic and positive.
Of course, we're expecting people to come to Greece for this season, not just for Santorini, but for all the other beautiful places that Greece has to offer.
This week, Greece approved 3 major tourism investments with a budget of around €1.2 billion to cater for the surging tourism demand.